Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 24 of the anime series Log Horizon 2. And there's not a whole heck of a lot to say about this episode, except that it was action-packed, it was fast-paced, had me on the edge of my seat, and it was just juiced to the max watching this episode, picking up right where we left off with people of the land in Akihabara and areas abroad falling asleep, and it's very much mysterious what the hell is going on, essentially is where everything was left at the end of the last episode. And we pieced together in this episode that there is a potentially genius level creature known as like the glowing moth or whatever it is that is siphoning out of adventurers as well as people of the land by their second run through the MP. This is relating back to the empathions that Rotu was talking about previously. Or at least that's what Shiro believes. He believes that empathions and MP are one and the same. And so people are being kept in a perpetual state of unconsciousness, sleep, essentially, by having their MP siphoned out perpetually by these creatures. For what greater purpose remains to be seen, but this is the catalyst for basically the round table and Shiro himself to decide, okay, we have to make a move here. We have to move on this television tower that they, talked about and found previously. Only the problem is, via Sujiro's kind of playing recon, it turns out this is where the moths are likely coming from. The entire tower is covered in moth eggs. It's like it's also perpetual in that they are keep respawning and stuff like that. And they're going to be a problem. They only have so many hours. I love that real-time aesthetic. And even as we're going into the final episode, there is a real-time aesthetic going on where once sundown occurs, these moths are going to be all over the place again. And Shiro has basically constructed a raid team because this tower has now become a sort of unofficial raid in and of itself. That, are made up of all these people who haven't seemingly been affected sleep-wise or, MP drain-wise as the people of the land and adventurers have been thus far, to go and make a raid on this particular tower. And what is amazing to me is Shiro's game is way off. It's like he has just been stretched thin, and everyone is like watching him. You have the point at the round table where he's going to mess with his glasses, push them up and adjust them as he always does. Whenever he is critical about a plan and he has something in the works and he hesitates, and you see Sujiro notices this, and this happens a couple of times with other of the teammates now, Sugu and, Akatsuki and Marielle and all of them. They are noticing that he is not quite primed to figure out this situation and go in with a plan ahead of time. He's very much figuring it out by the seat of his pants, and for that reason they are really stacked against it. I mean, they come under the attack of these like moon bunnies or whatever they're called, and then these other creatures. You have minotaurs coming out of nowhere, like these giant bosses, and they are just having their butts handed to them time and time and time again. They can't even like get to the tower. Finally, when they do, they manage to get to the tower. Everybody's like, what the hell are we doing? This is tougher than we ever thought it would be. Is Shiro in his right mind? They are all severely doubting his, basically confidence of making this move, of making this raid advance. And they start to go in the tower, it's like floor after floor is just nothing but these moth eggs and more creatures, stuff that people haven't even seen in this Elder Tale realm before are, being concocted to block their path. And at one point, very somewhat surprisingly and shockingly to a degree, Shiro actually calls for retreat. Like, let's fall back. We can't advance at this point. We got to figure things out. We got to take a few moments here. And this is sort of the, turning point in the episode, because you have Henrietta, of all people, herself a sort of villain in glasses, you might say, walking up to Shiro once he's apologized to everyone because he feels like he let everyone down, not being able to have sort of a precursor advanced idea of what they were going to do. And she belts him, his glasses go flying, and there's just this moment of silence that, to me, it was like, if I wasn't already juiced by the episode the way it was unfolding and like compelled and everything, the goosebumps started as soon as, Minori and all the kids walk over and they're talking about we're not going to leave this world. We can't leave things the way they are. We can't, you know, it's broken. We need to fix it before we can even worry about us returning home. And all of the people that start crowding around him, Natsuyuki, Akatsuki, you know, Nianta, and all these characters, they very much are in agreement. We're in for the long haul. We've been here long enough already. We can't let everything just fall apart just because we want to go home, or we're enticed by that idea. And so it basically comes down to, at least at that moment, you know, it's going to have to be either destroy the tower, save the world, and lose any chance of going home, or be very selfish and try to utilize that communication device to go home and leave things as they are in this Eldertale realm. And it's just so, like, boasting to see all these characters willing to sacrifice their going home for the sake of this Eldertale realm, because all of the, you know, people of the land, they're all really alive in this environment. And all that peace that Shiro has sought and you know, trying to level the playing field, it's like, why let that be all for naught? And they don't even know who is behind this scenario. You know, it's that crazy that they're coming under the attack and they don't even know why, but they're willing to face it and confront it if it means bringing back a level of status quo, of peace, of quiet, and, you know, the good times they've had therein. And so by the end, Shiro has his glasses returned to him by his, you know, sidekick, essentially his right-hand girl, if you will, Akatsuki. And I love that moment of poignance, because once he puts them back on, the Shiro of old is back in action. And he's like, you know what? We got this much time. The MP is being siphoned. We know where the boss is now, the raid boss or whoever's behind this. We're going to go ahead and show them what killing two birds with one stone really means. We're going to save the world, and we're going home. Booyah. It was just like, hell yes. You know, by the end of the episode, it was just like, hell yes. Bring on next episode. As far as ramping up to a finale, this is one of the best I've seen, for me personally, watching the series, just getting me so amped up and like so excited to see the throwdown that's going to come in the finale for this series. I can't wait. I really hope Shiro is able to make that happen, but, you know, because I know that this is based on an as yet unfolding manga or whatever it is, there may not be a level of closure. Maybe like, okay, well, there's another chapter yet to come. Maybe we'll get another season. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I'd be all for another one, even if, you know, it means having to give up on a level of closure for now in this series. I just can't wait. The anticipation is heated for me right now to see where this series is going to end and how it's going to end, and everything's going to play out. And I'm rooting for Shiro and his entire party, and what more can you ask for from Log Horizon? That is just awesome. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 24 of Log Horizon 2, if you've seen it. If you think there is going to be a level of closure, do you think, you know, Shiro will show success in what he's trying to do, kill those two birds with one stone, you know, free the world and go home as well? Or do you think, as the teaser for the next episode kind of hints, that maybe there is yet another mission that is just beginning for Shiro? So, yeah, let me know in the comments below, and otherwise I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.